Welcome to a wonderful program from the mid-1990s. A lot of baseball simulations that use ballparks today stole them from this one. This is old-time baseball. Before we get into a game, give you a little history about it. There was a program called Tony La Russa Baseball, and it was basically for that time. It just included just whatever the latest season might have been, 1994, 1995. I can't remember. Old-time baseball actually began life really as just an expansion disc to Tony La Russa Baseball, and then eventually became its own product. So let's look around the menus and see what we can do. It's a really cool program, and actually is available. I'll put a link down in the description how you can get it. You have to run this through DOSBOX. It's worth it though. It's a lot of fun. And we're going to talk about, though, editing players, some other things that you have to do to get this going realistically. So, of course, we move here and we have our main menu. We can choose an exhibition game, load save game, so you can actually save and exit games, which is kind of nice. You can hold a fantasy draft, stadium histories, credits. I have never really looked through the whole credits, but it's my understanding, I think that Clay Dressler of Baseball Mobile was one of the developers of this game. We go to our league menu. We can create a baseball universe, load or erase universe. So if you play out of the park baseball, you already know what universe means. But basically, this would be a league, an action PC baseball, or whatever you want. You can edit, you can add, remove teams, you can do divisional alignments. So there's a lot you can do here. You have an ongoing season, as I do. I have 1934 going on here. So you can play league games, start new season. You can look at your team schedule, the whole league schedule, standings, statistical leaders, games of notes. You can do an all-star matchup. Manager. You can actually do a manager profile. We'll look at that in a second. Utilities. One that's really, really important is editing player stats, and we'll talk about that in a moment. You can also import stadiums. So if you have the Tony La Russa game, you can import more modern stadiums. This one has 16 really, really beautifully made ballparks. Again, I've seen these. I've seen people use these in action PC baseball. I've seen them in virtually, wow, yeah, just a lot of baseball sims. These parks get lifted, and they're really beautiful. And they're not, well, you'll see. I mean, they're really pretty. I mean, maybe not by today's standards in terms of, what you might see in out of the park baseball, which those are done in Google SketchUp. But the textures on these are really, really beautiful again for the time. Then of course you have your usual help and options. We can turn on music. There's for Chris, Strat, Delaware. Turn that off for right now. But let's just look around for a little bit. Let's look at stadium histories. And I'm going to look at my favorite, of course, Forbes Field. There it is. It's not what it's going to look like in game, obviously, but this is actual images. We get a little history that we can scroll down, and we can view the stadium. And here we can actually look around. It's obviously a little fast on a modern system. So there's Forbes, but in game, it's going to look really, really cool. And let's go back to the main menu. So that's fun. You can do a fantasy draft. Click on this. Style of draft order. So you can do cycle, snake. You can use rotisserie points. I don't even know. Do people even play? I guess this is called fantasy baseball now. Auction style draft. I don't really use this, but this program again has so many things to do. In a sense, you might call it the great grandfather of out of the park baseball. In fact, I would say this is probably closest to it, at least in terms of structure and things that you can do. So go to here. You go to a team pool. So this is really cool. You can draft, of course, from the season that you're doing, but what's also nice and makes this also similar to out of the park baseball is you can add teams. So you could make a universe of teams from all eras of baseball. This only goes up, I think, although I think I have the extra seasons. You can also get the extra seasons. But I'm pretty sure, I think this is 1871 to 1981. So you get 110 years. But again, if you're going to play later seasons, so after teams started moving west, the Giants are still going to be playing in the Polo Grounds, unless you have the Tony La Russa game, which, by the way, is also available at the site that I'm going to put in the description. So something else for you to think about. We're not going to do anything here because, yeah, I don't want to mess around with my with what I have going as far as my season. Let's go back to the main again. Let's exit draft, and we wait the screen of blackness. There we go. We can play an exhibition game if we want. So again, we can do that by choosing, as you see, choose visiting team, then home team. We can do that. Let's go back to, let's go to league. We can load. So right now I have, there's a 1934, 1919, but let's look at all time because this will show you that you can use teams from all, you're going to see all kinds of teams here. So, you know, for Al, maybe actually what we'll do is we'll do St. Louis and Boston. But we'll come back to this as well. I think we have everything here. As you'll see, pardon the cough. You can choose announcers. So this is the grandfather then of baseball for Windows. You can choose either Mel Allen or Curt Gowdy. Mel Allen says a few more names. I think something like, it's something like 8,000 names, and Gowdy is something like 4,000 names or something like that. The commentary it was really for a game of this type, especially for a simulation game. The Hardball series already had Al Michaels, but it was very, very basic. So the commentary in this is better. However, you're going to hear some mistakes. So for ground balls, you're gonna hear it's hit up the middle for a base hit when actually, you know, it's fielded and the guy's thrown out. So you're gonna hear mistakes, but there is that sense of immersion in this. So let's do a game, and I think maybe in the next video, then we're going to talk about editing players, and during the game, I'll be talking about this. I apologize for the echo that you're going to hear. I just figured out how to stream games from DOSBOX, so that to me was just awesome. But I haven't figured out yet how to switch out into OBS to adjust the desktop volume, right, that's coming out. So you're going to hear a little slapback echo on Mel Allen's voice. So let's do this. We're going to choose our visiting team, and we're going to choose, and I'm going to, yeah, you know, I'm going to manage one of these teams. This ought to be fun. Maybe instead of doing both 1946, I'm going to pick a team that I'm familiar with. So let's do, or more familiar with. So let's do, oh my goodness gracious. Let's do Cincinnati. Let's do Cincinnati and Boston 1975, even though the stadiums aren't going to be correct. So the visiting team is going to be Cincinnati, and the home team is going to be Boston. You like how I say that? Boston. So we can set specific year. So we'll do that. What's also nice about this is if you want to do this, you could take 1975 season, for instance, if we were doing 1975, or even just this, okay, this all-time great. We could play according to the conditions in 1975, or what was called the expansion era, or we could take these teams in the back and play dead ball, so it would be adjusted that way. And again, this is something that you can do in, I believe, in out of the park baseball. Yes, you can actually do this in out of the park baseball. So this ought to be a lot of fun. Don't know how it's going to turn out, but we'll see. So again, you're going to hear some mistakes by Mel. Some of the things are going to be kind of repetitive, but this is really, really a sweet baseball game, and yeah, I love it. It's not one that I play frequently, but it's really, really just a sweet game, and for the time, it could really, really do a lot. And in fact, in terms of having a live broadcaster, the only other serious baseball simulation that had that was Baseball for Windows, that we know today as APBA baseball. So let's play ball. Traveling to 1975, we're going to choose Mel Allen. I'm going to use the manager view, so it's going to be different than a kind of television. Back then, of course, if you remember, if you had a lower spec machine, so if you were trying to run this, I guess on a, I don't know if it would run on a 286 or 386. I never had one of those, but you would just do minimum animations, and basically you would just see people kind of sort of a Star Trek kind of transporting around, but without the really pretty glittery effects. So we're going to choose Mel Allen, and we're going to click Done. And then here's where we come to our who's going to manage what. So for Boston, we're going to have the computer to the Red Sox, and I'm going to manage the Reds. And let's see, what do we have? We have errors. We don't have anything else turned on. We're going to leave this in one pitch mode. However, you can do pitch by pitch. This was something that at the time Baseball for Windows wasn't doing. And in fact, it wasn't until I think patch 5.5 that there were 2 or 3 times in the game. And I think that, in fact, that still does hold true with the newest version, 5.75, that you could, 2 or 3 times a game, you could switch to one pitch mode. Hopefully, APBA will fix that. Again, we have our sound effects, crowd, announcer. We're not going to have the music. We will do quick off the field. We can watch the little dudes run off the field, but I'm not going to do that. Since we're managing, we're not going to mess with this because this can also be played as an arcade game. We're going to go from batter view. Normally, we would see if we're watching this on television, pitcher view, but we're going to go from batter view. I like that because the switch from pitcher view as it's hit to the field, it just always felt a little weird to me. I want to make sure that we have Cincinnati's ballpark selected, and as you see, we don't. So we're going to get Crosley, and we'll click Done. And it looks like we're ready to go. I hope so. Oh yeah, input, mouse. And of course, we don't need any for the computer. So let's see what happens here. Let's have a little bit of fun with old-time baseball from Stormfront Studios, which was swallowed up by the evil Electronic Arts and unfortunately went out of business. Here's our lineups. So, batting first for Al's Red Sox, Carlton Fisk. Batting second, Dewey, Dwight Evans. And Al, maybe you could tell me in the comments why he's called Dewey. Batting third, Bernie Carbo. Batting cleanup, Fred Lynn. First baseman, the great one, Carl Yastrzemski. Then Denny Doyle, Rick Burleson, Rico Petrocelli. Sorry. He's not Italian, so it's a Petrocelli. And pitching today for the Red Hose, Rick Wise. For the Cincinnati Reds, leading off Dave Concepcion. Batting second, Ken Griffey of the senior variety. Batting third, Johnny Bench. Hitting cleanup, Joe Morgan. Behind him, George Boomer Foster. Pete Rose, Tony Perez, Cesar Geronimo, if you want to say it properly, although everybody says Geronimo, so I guess I'll say it that way, as obviously Mel Allen will. And pitching today, Gary Nolan. Let's play ball.
Hello there, everybody. Welcome to historic Crosley Field in beautiful Cincinnati, where today we're going to see Cincinnati play Boston in this exhibition. The weather today is frigid and foggy with 50% humidity. The wind is blowing in at about 10 miles per hour. I'm Mel Allen, and I'm here to bring you all the action. Leading on.
So I would just move the mouse up there so that we can put the game on kind of pause. So the screen aspect is kind of strange. I need to work on that. So with all the gushing I've done about the ballparks, you're not going to really get the full effect. But again, for 1995, you can see these player models are nice. You have to suspend disbelief a little bit. You can see that the hitters wearing helmets. On 1975, that's fine. But if you're playing 1909, you got to suspend disbelief. Look past the more modern uniforms that you see. So obviously the socks bump up high on the stripes and stuff like that. But still, such a fun game. Now, if we were playing a season, we could switch from these actual real stats for that year to simulated stats, but we're not going to do that. So let's get back to the game.
Fly ball to left field. And it's short hop by. Look out now. Hey, that throw sailed high and wide. And it's going to be an error on Rick Burleson. Base hit for Concepcion. Now batting the right fielder, hitting .305.
So you can see here on each side, you have defensive and offensive options. So right now, we're back. So you can see normal, power, contact, bunt, and signs. So if we go to signs, for instance, we could try a squeeze, which I'm not going to. We can have him take the pitch or just go normal, which is what we're going to do.
A high chopper to first. It's grabbed by Jastrzemski. Base hit for the right fielder. That drives in a run, and it's 1-0. Coming up next is the catcher, batting .283.
Now again, what's interesting, of course, is we have John Bench. I don't know, again, whether Mel just decided he just wasn't going to read even the name of great players, Hall of Famers, or anything like that. So it's kind of a little out of kilter there. So he just says the catcher. But sometimes he will actually say the name. But unlike Baseball for Windows, in which Ernie Harwell, literally every name in Baseball Encyclopedia from 1871 to 1997, he said every name. I guess Mel, as we'd say in Ireland, couldn't be arsed. So, yeah, just some of these little quirks that I'm going to talk about. I'm not pause so much, but I want to just kind of get you a little bit of the history of this game that seems to sadly have been forgotten, although finding it again, because it was in high demand for a while. It was just a few years ago where copies of this on eBay were kind of going for ridiculous prices. But let's get back to the game and see what the catcher does with the 1-0 lead. Cincinnati, 1-0. And yes, I realize we have
the payoff pitch. Grounded. The throw to second base. And he's out at second. Next batter, Joe Morgan, batting .327.
Yeah, sorry about the wrong park. I realize that this should be Fenway. I had Cincinnati on the brain, so do please forgive me. Let's go for power this time.
A high fly ball going out to center field. Caught by the center fielder. And now 2 outs. The throw to second base. Now that brings up George Foster, hitting .300.
One of the things that if you do get this game, and we'll talk about this in another video, one of the things that plagued old-time baseball were the infamous off-the-wall singles. So you would have a hitter, for instance, like Joe Morgan, who would hit a ball and it would be out to right center off the wall, and he would only have a single. So the ratings were always suspect, but I found a way around that that's produced more realistic results. I'll show you how to do that in another video. Hopefully there will be interest in this, because you can pick this game up for $5. So what if you have to lose? It's really, really a lot of fun. And the extra seasons are also $5. So for $10, you're really getting a nice slice of the baseball game. But what you do is you basically go in and you lower the arms and ranges of the fielders. That's kind of a feel thing. Of course, if you really want to be a stickler for it, you can go into Baseball Reference for players that you don't know, see how many assists, for instance, the outfielders had, and their arm. But even by lowering them, so say Clemente, of course we know Roberto Clemente had a cannon. If you still lower his arm and you lower his range by a factor of 2 or a factor of 1, whatever you decide, by and large, those off-the-wall singles do disappear. The other thing, though, is actually, I don't know, a rather glaring omission by the makers of old-time baseball, is there's no statistic for how many triples a pitcher had given up. So triples do happen in the game. Of course, we know triples are rare anyhow in baseball, but they're maybe a tiny bit more rare. It would be interesting for me to play maybe a replay season where Sam Crawford, who is the all-time leader in triples with 312, Clinton, you'll certainly correct me if I'm wrong on that, to see exactly over a season how many triples Sam Crawford hit. I know I'm putting out some negatives, but really the only thing that's problematic that you really can't fix would be the lack of statistics for triples given up. I wish I knew why that was, and I should probably look at the credits and see. And Clay Dressler, who has Baseball Mobile, which is kind of on the skids right now, maybe I'll write him a little email and say, Clay, what were you guys thinking? Come on. All right, let's get back to the game.
The payoff pitch. Strike 3. And that retires the side. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 runner left on base. Middle of the first inning. Cincinnati 1, Boston 0. Leading off the inning, Carlton Fisk, batting .331.
I could broadcast along with Mel if I wanted to. All right, so again, up here now, we're pitching, so we can have a fastball, curve, changeup, slider. And if we hit deep, well, we'll get next time. Show you what we do in defense.
Going. He reels it in. 1 out now. Next batter, the center fielder, hitting .274.
Let's get our defense options. You can pitch around, pitch out, of course an intentional walk, or just go back to normal. So having the pitch out is nice. And then nice little music because it's making it wait. Here we go. Fastball down the pipe for Stevens.
A high chopper to second, and the throw to first. Got him. Out number 2. That brings up the right fielder, batting .257.
So Mel, pass me a beer, would you?
Strike 3. That ends the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. Going to the top of the second, and it's 1-0. Leading off, Pete Rose. batting .317.
Here's the pitch.
A high fly ball going out to left field. Caught by Lynn. One out now. Coming up next is Tony Perez, batting .282. A line drive to the shortstop. Caught by Burleson. Out number 2.
Nice
Now
play
batting
there.
Cesar Geronimo, batting .257.
Mel, it's Geronimo. Get
Here
it
comes
right.
the pitch.
He's ignoring me.
A looping drive to right field. The throw to second base. Base hit for Geronimo. Up next, the pitcher, hitting .176.
I'm going to throw down a bunch here.
Strike 3. He struck him out. That ends the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. That's 1.5 innings gone. Cincinnati 1, Boston 0. Leading off the inning, Fred Lynn, hitting .331.
That bunt didn't work. The best laid plans of mice and men, but then again, on a 2-out situation, it was probably stupid. But change up action here.
The payoff pitch. A high fly ball going out to left field. And he makes the catch. The first out of the inning.
I know that when Al plays, every once in a while plays baseball mobile, I think that's like for me, a guilty pleasure. So you have to guess the pitch. So this is fun. It will just pitch sort of automatically, but because you can go pitch by pitch, which is really nice with this, and I think looks kind of funny. This is a 1995 game, and it looks a hell of a lot better than baseball mobile. There's Captain Carl. Kind of looks like some actor. I have to figure out who he looks like in this picture. All right, are we ready, Mel? Here we go. I'm too busy managing to talk to you then, Mel.
Strike 3, and now 2 outs. Next batter, the second baseman, batting .310. He comes to the plate. There's a hot smash to second. Base hit for next batter, Rick Burleson, batting .252. The runner goes. Strike 3. And that retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. And after 2, Cincinnati leads Boston by 1. And now starting off the inning is David Concepcion. He's 1 for 1 with 1 run scored and with a single. A liner to third. Got him. Coming up to bat, the right fielder. He's 1 for 1 with 1 run batted in and with a single.
Just a little umpire dude in the upper left at the end of each play. Fun.
Hey, that one's up the right field alley. Look at that one. It's going right to the wall. The throw to second base. He's safe at second. Pulls into second base with 2 bases. Now coming up, the catcher. He's nothing for 1 in this game.
Now, before my fix, that would have been a single.
A hot grounder. Got him. Now coming up, Joe Morgan. He's nothing for one today. They're going to give him a free pass here. Now coming up, George Foster. He's nothing for one with a strikeout.
Wow, walking Morgan to get to Foster. Interesting.
A line drive to left field.
And that was
It's
a mistake.
Gone.
Sorry, Al. Wasn't my fault. I mean, arguably, yes. I mean, maybe Morgan, dangerous, but Foster.
A three-run homer for Foster. The score is 4-0. Now coming up, Pete Rose. He's nothing for one in this game.
Yeah, you can bet on old Pete. See what I did there, kids?
There's a high pop-up, the catcher. Fouled.
I love the umpire dude up in the upper left corner. Dick Cole. Is that the most unfortunate name in
Coming
baseball?
up next is the slick-fielding infielder. He's nothing for one in this game. He delivers. There's a high pop-up, the catcher. Caught by Fisk. That ends the inning. 3 runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. In the middle of the third, Cincinnati 4, Boston 0. Leading off the inning, Rico Petroselli, batting .239.
There's a NASCAR guy. His name is Dick Trickle. I guess that's as bad as Dick Cole, maybe even worse.
Here comes the pitch. Grounded up the middle for a base hit. Got him. That's 1 down.
So there's one of those inconsistencies.
Now coming up, Rick Wise. Strike 3. He struck him out, and now 2 outs. Now that brings up Carlton. Fisk. He's nothing for one in this game. He delivers. A high fly ball going out to left field. Caught by Foster. That ends the inning. 3 up, 3 down. Going to the 4th, Cincinnati 4, Boston 0. And now starting off the inning is Cesar Geronimo. He's 1 for 1 with a single. A line drive to the shortstop. A single for Geronimo. Coming up to bat the pitcher. He's nothing for one with a strikeout.
Yeah, maybe because I have the wrong park. That's what's hurting the Red Sox.
Strike 3. He struck him out. 1 down. Coming up next is David Concepcion. He's 1 for 2 with 1 run scored and with a single. A high fly ball going out to left field. Caught by Lynn. And now 2 outs.
Beautiful shot there.
Coming up next is the right fielder. He's 2 for 2 with a single and with a double.
Yeah, for the time, these graphics were beautiful.
Fly ball to center field. Caught by, that ends the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. Middle of the 4th, Cincinnati 4, Boston 0. And now starting off the inning is the center fielder. He's nothing for one today.
Let's throw in a curve here.
Here comes the pitch. A line drive to center field, and he makes the catch. One out now. The throw to second base. Up next, the right fielder. He's nothing for one with a strikeout. A looping drive to right field. He makes the play, and now 2 outs. That brings up Fred Lynn. He's nothing for one in this game. To center field. And he makes the catch. That ends the inning. 3 up, 3 down. Top of the 5th. Cincinnati 4, Boston 0. And now starting off the inning is the catcher. He's nothing for 2 today.
It's Johnny Bench, Mel. Get it right.
He comes to the plate. A high fly ball going out to deep right field.
That's gone.
Look at that one. It's going right to the wall. Hey, he's safe. He pulls into third with a stand-up triple. Up next, Joe Morgan. He's nothing for one with a walk and with 1 run scored.
Really thought that one was gone. What do you say, Mel?
To first. Picked up by Yastrzemski. He takes it to the bag himself. That drives in a run, 5-0. Now batting George Foster. He's 1 for 2 with 3 runs batted in and with a homer. Here comes the pitch. Grounded. And the throw to first. Got him. And now 2 outs. Now coming up, Pete Rose. He's nothing for one with a walk. There's a high pop-up to third. And he makes the catch. That'll do it for the visitors in the 5th. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on. 4.5 in the books. Cincinnati 5, Boston 0. Leading off, Carl Yastrzemski. He's nothing for one with a strikeout.
Gary Nolan pitching a hell of a game so far. Full count.
Grounded right back to the pitcher. And the throw to first. Got him. 1 out now. Now that brings up the second baseman. He's 1 for 1 with a single. There's a high pop-up, the catcher. Fouled.
And the catcher falls in his arse.
There's a high pop-up to third. Caught by Rose. And now 2 outs. That brings up Rick Burleson. He's nothing for one with a strikeout. The payoff pitch. There's a drive, and it's up the left field alley. Look at that one. It's going right to the wall. The throw to second base. A single for Burleson. Coming up next is Rico Petroselli. He's nothing for one in this game.
Now, I should mention that for these teams, you just saw an off-the-wall single. I didn't edit these teams, so yeah, we'd see something anomalous. Maybe next time when I do my sort of talk about video, then we'll do a game from 1934, and I'll just let Mel call the whole thing. But you'll see how that won't happen. So I'm actually glad now that it occurred to me that to use these so you can see that was one of the things, and that was very, very common in the game. So if you get this, definitely watch my next video, whenever that will be, on old-time baseball, to learn how to change their stats, because it's not as straightforward as you might seem, or as it might seem, but it's not difficult. There's just one step you have to remember to do, or it won't make any difference.
The runner goes. Got him! No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on. 5 innings gone. Cincinnati 5, Boston 0. Leading off the inning, Tony Perez. He's nothing for 2 in this game. Here comes the pitch. A high fly ball going out to left field. Caught by Burleson, the first out of the inning. Up next, Cesar Geronimo. He's 2 for 2 with 2 singles. A line drive to left field, and he makes the catch. That's 2 away. Now that brings up the pitcher. He's nothing for 2 with 2 strikeouts.
I do have to say, this just does have a feel of old-time baseball.
Here comes the pitch. Strike 3. He struck him out. That retires the side. That's the 4th K the pitch has earned today. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. We played 5 1/2, 5-0.
What's interesting about this, actually, as I think about this in my last comment, is that you can
Hitting
notice...
for Darren Johnson as the slick-fielding infielder, and we'll probably see him stay in the game for defensive purposes.
Thank you, Mel. I have things to say. The Tony La Russa games, there's a bit of difference if you look at the buildings out there beyond the center field wall. There's a graininess, of course, with the bricks, but you see there's a kind of grainy, sort of slight grainy feel to this. The Tony La Russa series, it's a little cleaner looking, and I think that this sort of graininess was done on purpose, because again, if you kind of look past the batting helmets and you see the shots that we've had in left and right field, there's just a real feel, even with the you see there the sort of torn off piece of newspaper with the box scores and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm really gushing about this game. Part of it is nostalgia, I suppose, not only from then, but from now, just being such a baseball fanatic. I love the look and feel of this game.
A looping drive to left field. Base hit for Johnson. Coming up to bat, Rick Wise. He's nothing for 1 with a strikeout. The payoff pitch. There's a high pop-up. Fouled.
Catchers will catch foul balls. It does happen.
Fly ball to deep right field. And he makes the catch. 1 out now. Coming up to bat, Carlton. Fisk. He's nothing for 2 in this game. He delivers. Strike 3. He struck him out. 2 down. Coming up to bat, the center fielder. He's nothing for 2 in this game. Hey, that one's up the right field alley. It's gone.
The Red Sox get on the board. What do you say, Mel? You got another one of those over there? What was it? Mel used to drink Valentine beer, was it, Clinton? when he was broadcasting for the Yanks. It's horse piss, but what the hell?
A two-run blast for the center fielder, 5-2. Now that brings up the right fielder. He's nothing for two with a strikeout. A looping drive to right field, and he makes the catch. That ends the inning. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left on. Beginning of the 7th, 5-2. Leading off the inning, David Concepcion. He's 1 for 3 with 1 run scored and with a single. A looping drive to left field. Base hit for Concepcion. Coming up next is the right fielder. He's 2 for 3 with a single and with a double. The runner goes. A hot grounder through the hole on the left side. The throw to second base. Got him!
Oh, that was not cool, man.
Coming up next is the catcher. He's 1 for 3 with 1 run scored and with a triple.
That would have been beautiful.
The center field. He one-hands it for the putout. That's 2 away. Coming up next is Joe Morgan. He's nothing for 2 with 1 run scored and with 1 run batted in. For ball 4, that's his second walk. That brings up George Foster. He's 1 for 3 with 3 runs batted in and with a homer. A line drive to left field. It's gone.
Good night. Yeah. How about those Reds? And being a Pirates fan.
A 3-run homer for Foster. The score is 8-2. Now that brings up Pete Rose. He's nothing for 2 with a walk.
Although I'm too young to remember, of course, that not being around, the Reds and Pirates were perennial powers in the National League in the 70s. So, rivals.
A liner to second. Look out now. Hey, that throw sailed high and wide, and it's going to be an error on the second baseman. That's a base hit for Rose.
And here he is, Dick Cole, and we got a little T-ball moment there, whatever that was.
Next batter, Tony Perez. He's nothing for 3 today. Here comes the pitch. A line drive to center field. Caught back, and that retires the side. 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error, and 1 runner left on base. Heading now into the bottom of the 7th inning, Cincinnati leads Boston by 6 runs. And now starting off the inning is Fred Lynn. He's nothing for 2 today. A line drive to right field. Look at that one. It's going right to the wall. The throw to second base.
So again, there's a
That's
double.
A base hit, Lynn.
So it's really, really, really important to do that little fix. It's really simple, and you only have to do it.
Hitting from the first baseman, the right-hander hitting 500.
Yeah, it's really, really, really important. because this game obviously would I don't know how much, but there should be, of course, a runner now in scoring position. So, but again, you only have to do it for the outfielders. The infielders are fine. Catcher's throwing arm is not a problem. It's just that they really overpowered the outfielders in this game. So we've seen 2 hits in this game at least that should have been doubles. So again, we'll talk about that in another video if there's interest in this game. And again, for $5, it really is a fun time, and especially once you do that little fix, it really has just a nice play experience.
The runner goes. A line drive to center field, and he makes the catch. The first out of the inning, and the throw to first. Hitting for the second baseman, the left-hander, batting .500.
Well,
the runner goes.
Don't know this guy at all.
The throw to second base. Got him!
So you see what would have happened, right? There probably wouldn't have been a try to steal the third. Possibly there would have. But I would think that there's an out that shouldn't have happened. So the fix is really, really important. If you can find it, and please let me know if you can. There was a guy named Nick Karen, Keren, and he came out with it called Nick Karen's Utilities. I remember buying them, but I've moved so many times and quarter of the way around the world, and I can't find them anymore. But basically, what it did is when you loaded in a season, you ran the utilities, and it did all the fixes, which was really, really cool. But different baseball communities that I belong to, I've looked in all these different fora, and unfortunately nobody can find Nick Karen, and nobody, there was one site that actually had the utilities, and it was called Baseball Sim Central, and in fact I used to write columns for that. They asked me to write columns. From what I've seen, they're gone, unfortunately. There were a great repository of all kinds of things for baseball games. Baseball for Windows, High Heat Baseball, which became Sammy Sosa High Heat Baseball, and all these great games. Even going back to the Hardball series, all kinds of good stuff, resources, game talk, everything like that. I think they're gone. I might check after the stream just to see. I'm sorry, this recording, this stream, yes. Back to the game.
Grounded to the shortstop. It's a bouncer right through the infield. Hitting for Cecil Cooper. The left-hander hitting .311. There's a high pop-up to second. Caught by Perez. That'll do it for the home team in the seventh. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. After 7 full, Cincinnati leads Boston by 6 runs. Leading off the inning, Cesar Geronimo. He's had a good day at the plate. He's 2 for 3 with 2 singles.
And there's Dick Cole standing erect on the mound. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Strike 3. He struck him out. That's 1 down. That's the first strikeout he's recorded today. Coming up to bat, the pitcher. He's nothing for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Fly ball to center field. Caught by, that's 2 away. The throw to second base. Coming up next is David Concepcion. He's 2 for 4 with 1 run scored and with 2 singles. Grounded and the throw to first. Got him. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. Going into the bottom of the 8th inning, Cincinnati 8, Boston 2. Leading off, Butch Hobson, hitting .250. Grounded up the middle for a base hit. It's a bouncer right through the infield. A single for Hobson. Pinch hitting for the right-hander, batting .309.
One thing that I was going to make, that they started, but they didn't quite fix it up. You notice out there at second, Joe Morgan is black. Yeah, unfortunately Jim Rice isn't. So they did start to do skin color, and it was baseball mobile does that sort of okay, better. But it was kind of cool that at least they tried to do that. But yeah, it's a little jarring to see, Jim sort of being the wrong color and Joe up there being the right color. But again, kudos to them for giving it a shot, and it was a good start this time. So a little change up here.
The runner goes. Grounded. The throw to second base, and he's out at second. And the throw to first. A 6-4-3 double play. And now 2 outs. Now batting Carlton Fisk. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout.
All right, come on, Pudge. Gotta do something. Gotta do something.
A high fly ball going out to center field. He makes the play. And that retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on. Heading to the 9th. Cincinnati 8, Boston 2. Leading off, the right fielder is 3 for 4 with 2 singles and with a double.
Dick Cole, we hardly knew you.
A high chopper to second, and the throw to first. He beats it out. Base hit, but now coming up, the catcher. He's 1 for 4 with 1 run scored and with a triple. Going. Fouled. Grounded. The throw to second base and the throw to first. A 6-4-3 double play. And now 2 outs. Coming up to bat, Joe Morgan. He's 0 for 2 with 2 runs scored and with 1 run batted in. Here comes the pitch. A liner to first. Caught by McCarver. That ends the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on. As we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, Cincinnati 8, Boston 2. And now starting off the inning is the center fielder. He's 1 for 3 with 2 runs batted in and with a homer.
I still got to know why he's called Dewey. Please tell me.
There's a drive, and it's up the left field alley. And he makes the catch. That's 1 down. Coming up next is the right fielder. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout.
Because I think like there's 3,000 of you here in the community that are Red Sox fans. Clinton, Al, Eric, from Higher Ground.
Line drive to second. Caught by Morgan. 2 down. Now that brings up Fred Lynn. He's 1 for 3 with the single. Hey, that one's up the right field alley. Going, it's gone.
So yeah, we can't count out the Red Sox yet. But really, right, Higher Ground Gaming, check out his site. Great stuff. Does all kinds of replays. Our Red Sox fan, of course, and Clinton Parks.
That's a solo shot, Lynn. Cincinnati leads Boston by 5 runs. Now that brings up Tim McCarty, hitting .381.
Is Nolan tiring? Let's see. 5-run lead, don't blow it. Full count.
A looping drive to right field, and he drops it. Safe. Now that brings up the second baseman, batting .400.
Ooh, Red Sox threatening here in the bottom of the ninth. In the wrong part.
A looping drive to left field. Base hit for the second baseman. That brings up Doug Griffin, hitting .240.
We're going one more. I can't pull another 5-run lead. Come on.
The runner goes. The throw to second base. Got him! 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 runner left on base. After 9 complete, Cincinnati 8, Boston 3. And that's the end of the ball game. Cincinnati wins, and that's the ball game. This is Mel Allen saying, so long, everybody. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.
I looked like a genius there, didn't I? Yes, I did. So Cincinnati took the lead in this game and never ever relinquished. Again, my deepest apologies to you 3,000 Red Sox fans that I got the wrong ballpark. I'll fix that next time, or in some future video. If maybe in my 1934 replay, the Cardinals are playing the Reds. But when you're doing a season, that's actually already set up. So, mea culpa, mea culpa, mea culpa. So we're going to click done. So we're running long. Clinton Parks, you are Captain Stats, buddy. So we have stats. We have stats. My goodness, we have stats. Yes, we do. No WAR and stuff like that. I don't think that Bill James crawled out from under his rock again. No, I am not a fan of Bill James. Sorry. And there's Cincinnati, much fewer players, meaning they win. So we're not going to save because I don't care about this. And it's going to get back to the main menu. Hurry, 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 hurry. Bada boom, bada bing. All right, we're running a little over long here, so I want to thank everybody for checking out Old Time Baseball with me. Maybe next time again, if there's interest. We'll do a little tutorial on how to fix the outfielders. And we'll do a game in 1934 where I'm managing the Cardinals, and we're doing all right. We're doing all right, but not as good as I would hope, considering the Gas House Gang, one of the greatest teams of all time. Anyhow, guys, I want to thank you for hanging out. It's always fun. I hope to do some live streaming once I can figure out how to either get a pop-out chat going, or I have another laptop to try to get it going. So long for now. Until next time, this is me, Beatles Eternally, half drunk, hanging out with Mel Allen and everybody who's watching the stream. All right, guys, good night.